Hello students, welcome back in this online session of second semester. Now in this lesson of 8th standard English, especially today I'm going to focus on grammar, English grammar. Now in this lesson we are going to learn about direct and indirect speech. See, conversation between two people regarding the third one or supporting the third one, remembering the third one is very important. So what will happen if a person is absent, but then also we need to repeat his words. We need a powerful backup of the grammar. It means we need to learn the active passive as well as the direct indirect speech. So in this video lesson I'm gonna teach you the very beautiful topic of grammar, which is also known as direct indirect speech. But before we start, we need to understand direct and indirect speech is the very essential part of grammar, which will also make our fluency in the language and the spoken also while we are speaking with anyone. So here I'm gonna teach you with this video lecture that how beautifully direct and indirect speech can be derived out, and also it can be understood out with the virtual classes or in the language build-up classes also over the screen. So therefore here in this lesson we'll also learn about some of the tenses, then formation of the tenses changes also, and also we'll take all this level to the upgrade level. So now let's start with the sentences. So what is direct speech? Speech can be maintained into two types, direct speech and the indirect speech. So make sure whenever you're attending any kind of quiz, exam or whatever the paper sheets are there, you need to focus the tenses, the formation of the tenses, and also how and in which category you need to use that out here. So what we do need to mean about the direct speech? Well, these are the two ways which we can understand saying about the speech. One is example 1 and one is example 2. So here on the screen it appears two ways of the saying that what is someone else says in the past. Second thing, for example, we can take Ben said I have a dental appointment in this evening or this evening. This is called actually a direct speech, but we don't always repeat the other person's word exactly because the words are not important, the message is important. So we can say it like Ben said that he had a dental appointment, which can be also said as reported. So in the form of called, we use a related clause, okay, because like a new, or we can say like a new partner, when we derive these kinds of words, so we actually need to explain everything in the detail. So when we write direct speech, we always put questions mark around the original words, and also that is how it shows that we are repeating the words exactly without changing any model. But in the indirect speech we don't use question marks. So these are the things which we need to understand. Second thing is that this is also used in the indirect speech, but whenever it is actually used we need to be careful about that. So we can often leave it out in the same term, or we need to go and change also. So we can say Ben is actually the main subject here, which is actually informally repeated in this clause. Now if we go more further, now we need to talk about the converting of a sentence, okay, from the direct speech to the indirect speech. So there are 3 steps. How many steps? 3 steps. Change the pronouns, then we can backshift some of the tenses, and also we can go with the changing of the time and places and exceptions or experiences now. So he can be referred to Ben, okay, this is the first step. Next verb can be has changes to have or haven't, okay. When Ben spoke, his word or his related word is actually relating with him, but now when we repeat this we need to go with the backshift. So this is called the backshift, okay. So that is actually used as the backshift. Now if we go more further, which is also kind of a time expressions or experiences, then we can say, okay, when we convert a sentence from direct speech to indirect speech, we need to take it very carefully. Like we are going to like 5th sentences or the 10th sentences or 8th sentence, whatever the sentences are there, we need to take it very much clearly, okay. So we need to also go with the detailed formulas related to the indirect speech as well as the direct speech too. Now in this lesson we will also learn about some next examples, okay. So as you can see that the example of direct speech says that Sarah said I drink black coffee every morning. Now present simple will be going to past simple. Okay, the becoming of the drink to the drank can be seen out here. It means Sarah said that she drank black coffee, and whatever the time is there, you need to explain, you need to add that. Second sentence is Naveen said, I'm learning to play the guitar. Okay, he is learning. Now Naveen said that he was learning to play guitar. Okay, it's a simple past tense. So I changes to he, as well as we can say was is also related with the is, or we can say generally present will be going to the simple past. My son is graduating next week. Another sentence, third sentence, she said with the great excitement. So how would you change this? Excitement is there now. When we change a sentence into indirect speech, we almost always put the reporting clause in the beginning. She said with a great excitement that, okay, now the word my son becomes her son, and we add the back shifting words. Okay, so my son is graduating become her son is graduating, and the next week is a time that we need to use. So we can either say the next week, or we can go with the following week also. So this is how, okay, that her son was graduating next week, as well as you can add the related sentence. So number 4 says that I quit my job a week ago. He confesses that he quit his job, okay, to his wife. Now he confessed to his wife that he is quitting his job, or he already quit his job, okay, next week. So you need to notice the verb is already in the past tense. When we backshift a past tense from the verb, it changes into the past perfect. That's how we can say that had can be used out here. Okay, or you can say that it can be going with the different related formulas and all. So like this sentence can be also changed out. So these kinds of sentences can be easily made to the direct to indirect speech. Now other sentence is that sentence number 5. You can go with Hema didn't came, or Hema didn't come. Came is the wrong thing. Come to work yesterday. The manager told me that Hema hadn't come to work yesterday or the previous day, the day before. You can use these kinds of sentences. That's a smart form of that. So here also you can easily backshift, and you can go with the basic example. Now the kid told his parents, 6th number sentence, the kid told his parents, I was watching TV, okay, and the power went out. It means there is no electricity. So was watching TV is a past tense. Okay, now it is going to be on the back shift. It means that, okay, had been watching TV can be add out here, and the power went out. So the kid told his parent that he had been, okay, whatever the next sentence is there, you can join out there. So this is how the 7th sentence comes. I have seen the movie 3 times already. I explained. So I explained that I had seen the movie 3 times already. It means that it changes to the past perfect. Okay, so what is the sentence? The sentence moved to the past perfect. The 8th sentence says that we have been waiting for you since 2 hours or 2 hours. They complained. Okay, now they complained that they had been waiting for over 2 hours. You need to understand, okay, time gaps are also maintained well, so you need to go with that. Now I pick up you at the airport tomorrow, or I'll pick up you at the airport tomorrow. He promised. Okay, here we see that the modal verb will is used. Has been changes to its past form, and tomorrow has been becoming the next day. That's how the following day. So both the meaning can be easily seen on the screen. He promised to pick me up at the airport the next day or the following day. This is so much easy, and we don't need to confuse. That's why I'm using this smart form. So will be going to the would also if I go with the detailed formula. So the sentence number 10 says, I would like to buy this necklace. Now somebody must be there. So she told to the shop assistant. Okay, there is no past perfect or for the modal verb. So she told the shop assistant that she would like to buy the necklace. Okay, or that necklace also you can use out here. So both are okay, there is no mistake in that. The girl said my brother or my mother, any subject you can add. Okay, the girl said my brother and I agree, or you can say the girl said my brother and I are going to have pizza tonight. So what will be sentence of that in the indirect speech? The girl said that she and her brother, okay, the girl said that she and her brother. Now what is remaining in the sentence? Like are going to becomes were going, and now if we had am or is, then we would change that was going also. Okay, so we can use any of them according to suitability of the sentence. Tonight becomes that night also. So the girl said that she and her brother were going to have pizza that night. It's very simple. Now see, in the direct speech, you can use the 12th number sentence, that is, I can speak 4 languages. How many languages? 4 languages. Crad said or boasted, he just said loudly. Now cat boasted, you can use like cat boasted that. Okay, now whenever you're using this kinds of word, you can use the main sentence with the related sentence. The cat boasted that he could go. Okay, he could learn, like that. And the 13th sentence is that Shannon said we may go to Japan on vacation. Shannon said that they may changes to might, and the remaining sentence. So this is how the 14th comes. Now driving is a very good thing. So his driving instructor told him you must obey traffic rules. His driving instructor told him that he must obey or had to obey the traffic laws. So for examples, we can say police officer said you must park your car here. The reported sentence is the police officer said that. Okay, so you need to go with that. So the police officer said that I must. Okay, you goes to I, and whatever the remaining sentence. So this is how you can go with the 15th sentence also. Like her father said you should take your studies or studies more and more seriously. Her father said that she should take her studies more seriously. So like these kinds of formulas can be actually used regarding first to the 15 sentences, which can help you out in understanding the grammar. Okay, now we need to understand, I want to put some kinds of detail theory in that. See, in some of the situation, when we go with the direct to indirect speech, we don't backshift the sentences, but in the sum we need to backshift the sentences. Like I ask a colleague, I asked to colleague to help me, just for example. Or we can go with the another example also, like Tanya says I can't help you, sorry. She's feeling sorry. Tanya says that she can't help me because she has a lots of work. So Tanya says she can't help me because she has lots of work to do. And can't help can be also used out here. So this is because I am repeating actually the same exact word. Now there is not much time delaying in the sentences, so the back shift can be remaining same also. We also see some of the time intervals in this. Now these are the both indirect and indirect sentences. The retailer chain has announced that it will open till 2 more stops or 2 more shops next month. So the retailer chain has announced, okay, that it will open. You need to go with the main verb, okay, or has announced can be focused in that term while we are changing that. Same as the third sentence is that, okay, the police chief said that the investigation is still going on. So said is the main thing which we need to focus out here. Also in the second sentence we see the time expression in the next month, as you can see, has announced. Therefore we can say, okay, that is because next month is still in the future for us, so we report this, and so that is the first point. So the next point is about to verb says to tell. You may have noticed, my dear student, in the sentence that, okay, tells is followed by a person like me, him, her, or anyone. I have few sentences here also with you to share out here. The first one says that the manager told me, you can check it out here, the manager told me Hema hadn't come to work previous day. Now if you go grammatically, then this person is actually using his words to relate the Hema. So we need to focus that which person subjectify which kind of work, or which subject is given to the which kind of person. That can be easily understood. Now say must not taken in the indirect object. In all these examples we can use, but whenever we are using, we need to go with the very carefulness. In fact, many English learners also put some kinds of mistaken things here, so we need to identify that. Like said me or said him, that's wrong thing. Okay, so in some situations you might see these kinds of sentences, like the manager said me, she said she hadn't come. So this is grammatically correct, but in the other sentence it can be showing some kinds of mistakes also. So if we go in the detail, then we can say, okay, if you don't need an indirect object, use say. All right, let's now go with the another sentences also. If I'm having some kinds of more sentences, I'll show in the screen. That direct speech, what do you want, she asked. In the indirect or reported speech, this becomes she asked me what I wanted. Okay, the first thing to notice here is that we have used reporting verb ask, and that's not say. Okay, so the second thing just says like statement, so we have changed the pronoun from you to I. Okay, and we actually have back shifted the tenses, that is the want. So that's how this sentence has no time to place the other words, but internally it can be placed out. But if we talk about the another important change then we have made here, we can go with the verb, action verb, and also the tense related to the tense formulas. But we have removed the auxiliary in the do, then what we can do, you becomes I and want becomes means the need of that person. Okay, so we can add this sentences very gentle form also. So this has been also made actually by some kinds of grammatical exercises, experiences, and lots of investment of the mental theory too. Now notice that there is only a period of full stop. If you put a question mark after an indirect question, that's wrong. So okay, we can understand with the next example. He asked where did Salman, or he asked where did Salman go yesterday. Indirect speech can be like he asked where. Okay, now direct speech questions is in the past tense, it is questioning in the past, so this needs to get back shifted to the past perfect, and we need to put out the sentence statement into the same form. So he asked where Salman had gone the day before. Okay, so both the words are okay, and I'd like to also make you understand that okay, whenever you're using he asked where Salman had gone the day before, you can also use the previous day. So both of these are correct. So this can be used in a theory, in a statement, in a formula and all, where you can understand this theory. So I hope this lecture was interesting and I hope you enjoyed the lecture. Other examples I'll share you in some other lecture. This was part number 1, indirect speech, and I hope you enjoyed the lecture well. So take care and keep learning the examples. All I gave you 15, 20, whatever the examples, and in other lecture I'll be also showing you the rules and regulations related to the indirect speech. So take care and keep loving grammar, keep speaking. Bye bye. Jai Hind.